Wind and Truth draws closer and closer, and the excitement for the mid-series finale of the Stormlight Archive continues to grow and grow. In an effort to build as much hype as possible for this series I love, we are continuing our dive into the mysteries and secrets of Roshar. Today, join me in taking a journey into the past of our favourite Elsecaller, Jasnah Kholin. I could make dozens of videos just on Jasnah, so keep in mind that these are just 3 interesting things to consider, and perhaps we can explore more in the future. Number 1. The true detail of how Jasnah soulcasted the thugs in The Way of Kings is stunning. Yes, the infamous scene where the Shallan chapters in The Way of Kings go from haggling for books with a dude who has long eyebrows to glorious mage lady kills 3 guys in spectacular fashion. Reading this scene for the first time was incredible. It was truly the first time we saw how devastatingly powerful Jasnah is, and to this day remains one of the most sophisticated uses of soulcasting we've ever seen. Taking a closer look at this scene truly reveals the brilliance of Jasnah as a soulcaster. We know that soulcasting involves convincing the soul of an object to change, and most of the time, that task is not as straightforward as one might assume, i.e. the stick. So how did Jasnah change 4 men into 3 separate things? It all boils down to the intent they had in that very specific moment. The first attacker had his weapon raised, ready to strike Jasnah, and after touching him, Jasnah transformed him into fire, an element that destroys and attacks living things around it. The second man has fallen on the ground with barely enough strength to stand. Jasnah soulcasts him into pure, flawless quartz, granting him the strength and stability he desired in that very moment. And finally, what did the last 2 men desire? Freedom. They fled for their lives, desperate to escape this sorceress of destruction. What does Jasnah do? Grant them their freedom by transforming them into smoke, finally free of the shackles of their bodies. So as you can see, these transformations don't seem merely incidental. We know that Jasnah has a very commanding nature and likely uses force to change some objects, but I'd like to think that this is a brilliant detail added by Sanderson to show not only Jasnah's skill, but also the mechanics of soulcasting objects and, horrifyingly, people. Number 2. Jasnah suffered from lunacy as a child. Jasnah is slated to have her flashback chapters in the 10th and final book of the Stormlight Archive. This fact alone should tell us that certain events and moments in Jasnah's life will be truly groundbreaking for the series. Little is known of Jasnah's upbringing, but the few moments alluded to raise a lot of questions to us, the reader. In Oathbringer, while speaking with her friend Ivory, he comments that Jasnah is likable to a stone compared to other humans. This triggers a troubling memory for her. Something stirred deep within her, glimmers of a memory from a dark room, screaming her voice ragged. A childhood illness nobody else seemed to remember for all it had done to her. It had taught her that people she loved could still hurt her. After questioning Ivory whether he has wondered what it would be like to lose his mind, she then says, "In my times of peace, however, my mind has always been the one thing I could rely upon, except once." So what happened to Jasnah as a child? The only other time I could find this mentioned was by Dalinar in a flashback with Gavilar, where he mentions Jasnah's lunacy. This leaves room for a lot of speculation, and my thoughts are immediately landing on Gavilar. Jasnah Kholin is one of the most Cosmere-aware individuals on Roshar, though this level of knowledge is likely significantly less 17 years prior to his death. Regardless, there is the thought that Gavilar could have been experimenting with creating a Knights Radiant or Herald with his own daughter Jasnah. We see on the world of Scadrial that Mistborn powers can awaken from being put through immense stress and pain. Was Gavilar attempting a similar revelation with his daughter? We know that he has world hoppers such as Axendweth in his retinue who would likely know of such techniques. Beyond that, there are many possible directions theories could go in for what caused this mysterious lunacy in Jasnah. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Number 3. Jasnah's reasoning for hiring an assassin for Queen Audan are still debatable. A fact that is commonly forgotten in the series is how Jasnah hired the mysterious shardbearer Liss to watch over her brother's new wife and Queen of Alethkar, Audan. Now, we know with the benefit of hindsight that Audan doesn't exactly have the best track record, being corrupted by an unmaid and all of that drama. But what ammo did Jasnah have to justify this drastic measure? One line in the Wind and Truth prologue made my ears perk up and has me questioning Audan's character completely. He missed the way they'd once schemed together, during the days when they'd been conquering Alethkar. How long had it been since they'd all just laughed together? He, Eli, Audan, and Sadeas. Why does Gavilar include Audan in his most trusted and intimate companions here? Was she even betrothed to Elhokar at the time, or was she a plant by Gavilar to ensure his bumbling son had a watchful eye that would report to the true players? It seems like there is a greater story yet to tell between the two, and I wager that Jasnah was onto this, whether she knew the full extent of Audan's subterfuge or not. And with that, we are hopefully one step closer to understanding the mystery of Jasnah Kholin. But I know as well as you do, we are only at the tip of the iceberg. Thank you as always for joining me on another Stormlight Archive theory video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.